Let's talk briefly about Monday's outage of Facebook and all of their products, and set aside whatever feelings you have about Facebook. I actually have a podcast coming out talking about how I've been kind of cleaning my data and looking at the data that they have on me. Forget about how happy you might have been that social media was down. Let's talk about a couple of the real world implications that happened, and maybe how this can translate into rethinking your relationships with your customers. So like a lot of folks, we couldn't post, we couldn't promote, we couldn't run ads, we couldn't share our Instagram photos, we couldn't communicate with large swaths of our community because we're so reliant on these products that are all made by one company. And one of the questions that we need to be asking ourselves, probably on a more regular basis now, is do we actually own the relationships with our customers? Or what companies are in the middle and are gatekeepers of those relationships with our customers? So if a large chunk of our business model is around Instagram commerce, if that's our big lead magnet and Instagram's down, what do we do? We've all experienced this with content posting. Every little tweak of Facebook's algorithm can have monumental impacts on different businesses depending on what the algorithm decides is important, not what your audience decides is important. So what I want to invite you to think about today is, how do we figure out how to create a more direct line of communication, a more direct relationship with your customers and partners? That can be phone, that can be email, that could be mail, that could be lots of different ways for us to communicate with our customer. And so we need to be very conscious of companies and platforms and networks that are in the middle between those relationships. How do we mitigate and diversify our communication strategies so we try to maintain and nurture a direct relationship with our customer? Because as far as Facebook's concerned, we're Facebook's customers. They're not your customers. So I'll open this up to comments. I would love to know, what are the best ways that you guys focus on reaching your customers? Is it still email? Is it phone? How do people like to be reached? And what works for you outside of Facebook?